He will not, as per reports, he has already been ruled out tonight. He's not playing tonight against Denver. He's not playing tomorrow against the Knicks. The last game that Kyrie Irving played was back on January 5th. Mm-hmm. They played 3 games since then, Philly, Memphis, and Oklahoma City. They've lost 2 of the 3 games. I know it's early, but they are 10th in the Eastern Conference, only 11 games in. I got you, but it's a 72-game season, so 11 games is weighted a little bit differently, right? And what is – listen, Teague, let me just chase right to the heart of the matter. Mm-hmm. I honestly, people ask me a lot, like, why do you care so much about what Kyrie Irving does? And I never really felt that I had to actually respond to that, but I think I do. I don't care what Kyrie Irving does. I know he's a good dude. Yeah. I know he's not out there doing anything wrong, being a detriment to society. But quite frankly, while I don't care if Kyrie Irving ever dribbles a basketball in a meaningful manner again, I really don't care. If he comes back and he balls, the Nets will be fun to watch. If he retires, great, whatever. There'll be a mess, and Kevin Durant's going to lament signing there. What I do care about, this is what I do care about, and this is what I will always protect on this show, because at the end of the day, I'm a fan. Even though I've been doing this for 20 years, I'm a fan.
Yep.
And I must get transparency from organizations, and I must, at the bare minimum, get accountability from an organization and a player. Where, I'm going to ask again, if anybody has an answer, please send it to me. Where in the world is the Brooklyn Nets general manager, Sean Marks, right now? Mm-hmm. Where is he?
Yeah.
Instead, what they're doing is, and it's such a disservice to the morale of the team and to the way that Steve Nash is going to be perceived, they keep trotting out a rookie head coach who's swimming right now with this stuff. Steve Nash is a great player. He's not a coach yet, so he's got to deal with this nonsense before every game and after every game. Sean Marks, even if it's a non-answer, if you want to be a world-class organization, which is something the Brooklyn Nets have stated basically since they moved to Brooklyn, then at the very least, you got to tell us where the hell your star player is, when he might be back, and what you're going to do about these absences.
Yeah, well, I mean, what to do about the absences is the last thing you need to, I think they're going to worry about right now, because it looks like the NBA might be taking care of that for them, because of the potential violations of league protocols. Now, for those who missed this story, Kyrie Irving was seen partying via, I don't know who put out the video. It was his sister's 30th birthday, Asia, and it was a club.
And his dad's birthday, too.
Yep, same day.
It was a joint celebration.
Yep, so and this is near us, BT.
Not far.
It's a club, or not really a club. It's like a catering hall, event venue called the Ballroom in West Orange, New Jersey. It's all documented. You can see it. It's corroborated that Kyrie was there dancing with his sister. And, despite all those reports that he's partying with Drake, those are confirmed or whatever. But
no idea about that.
No idea about that. Clue. But we do know that, 2 days ago, or maybe even yesterday, he was partying with his sister in West Orange, New Jersey, which is where he's from. So it maybe violates league protocols, because, probably 30 people in that room. A lot of them weren't wearing masks. Now, it probably was family, so you could probably get around it. But at the very least, it raises some questions about Kyrie's desire, because you're in the middle of the season. Right? It's not like we're on a break or all-star break or something. This is the middle of the season, and the last thing it looks like is on his mind is going to play basketball. So that's the first thing you got to figure out. Kyrie, are you done with the game? Now, he's made a ton of money. He could probably walk away and be okay for the rest of his life and get involved in some other things that he finds more interesting or passionate. But I think the first thing the Nets got to answer is, Kyrie, do you even want to do this anymore? Because it seems like he doesn't.
Yeah, and I'm okay. That's fine.
Agreed.
He's earned that right. He's earned that platform. He's a smart guy, and his view on the world is very deep, and maybe there's a greater calling for Kyrie Irving, and that's admirable. But, I want to play this cut from Kevin Durant. I know that Kevin Durant said the right thing. I know he's boys with Kevin Durant, Kyrie, but I can't imagine that everybody on the team shares this sentiment from Kevin Durant, especially when you see this footage emerge that while you guys are traveling, get ready to play a good Nuggets team and get ready to play the Knicks and, try to get on with your season here, and you've lost 2 out of 3, Kyrie Irving is at a party. All right, pray for the best. That goes without saying. Support Listen, as a matter of fact, on my Twitter bio, it's one of the things, it says grounded, amongst others, dad, whatever, grounded and loyal.
Yeah.
I am a loyalist, man. If you are a friend of mine, I will be there with you forever.
Yeah.
But there are limitations where at some point you got to look me in the eye and say, listen, man, here's what I'm thinking, and here's where I'm going. Because there's no way that the Nets right now can be feeling, as connected to Kyrie as they were 2 weeks ago, and be okay with these travels, these follies right now. If that video didn't emerge, we wouldn't be talking about Kyrie Irving right now.
No.
Unless, of course, Adrian, Wojnarowski had something where he's not playing tonight, he's not playing tomorrow. All right, maybe it would have been inbounds, out of bounds. But when you see video, your teammates are playing. As Tiki says, it's not the All-Star break.
No.
It's not like he's late and he missed a practice after the All-Star break. It's the season.
Yeah, and the video shows that
he's middle of the season, dude.
The video shows that he's okay. Because that's what I was worried. That's what you were worried about. It's like, dude, is he okay? Like, is he in the right state of mind? Is he physically all right? Is there something going on that he just can't talk about? Who knows? But he's out there dancing with his sister, right? So he's okay. And so it's his option to not be around his team and not really even communicate with his team about what's going on. And this probably won't always be unique to Kyrie Irving, but right now it feels unique to Kyrie Irving. When has this happened before? We're in the middle of a season.
Well, Rodman, remember the 30? Rodman got a little extended stay, had a chance to go to Vegas. True. But at least Phil Jackson said go.
But that was all organized.
Correct.
Like, dude, we get you, man. We know that you need to disconnect from this for a minute. Go blow off some steam, among other things, and then come back ready to go. And he did.
And nor was he the point guard, where things kind of revolve around chemistry.
Nor were they a building squad, BT. They were
established.
Exactly. He was a piece that was going to help them win championships, which he ultimately did. This Brooklyn Nets team, I mean, they're all new to each other, basically.
This is a disaster.
It is.
This
an utter
disaster. We are already in the middle of the implosion. We are already in the middle of it. And even if Kyrie Irving comes back in a week, let's say there's quarantine or the NBA doesn't deem it necessary, whatever, Kyrie Irving's, I was going to say recent history, but it's not even that recent. They really, outside of his first couple of years in the NBA when nobody cared about Kyrie Irving because the Cavaliers stunk and he couldn't do anything by himself to elevate them. That's a fact. Look it up. Since Kyrie Irving's been on our mainstream radar, and we all knew he was great. He was the first overall pick, et cetera. But in terms of like the day-to-day inclusion of Kyrie into the upper structure of the NBA, there's always been, not always, but there's intermittently been these deviations from the norm. And at first it was, Kyrie, he's a unique dude. He's a little quirky. He's a different cat. All right, well, that worked for me for a couple of years. That's fine. I appreciate originality. What I don't appreciate and what I'll just never accept is unprofessionalism. And what I don't get, and I did this today just to see, like I just go to Twitter and I type in Kyrie Irving, right? Just to see what fans are thinking. The amount of people, all right, a lot of these people are Net fans, but definitely basketball fans.
Yeah.
The amount of people saying, well, he just needs some time away, back off Kyrie. What the? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, how is this even remotely acceptable to not come and do your job? Who doesn't see this?
What should the Nets do?
The Nets should suspend him, like I said on Friday.
Okay, so what will that do, though? If they suspend him, what will it do?
Here's what it'll do, and I told you this on Friday. What it will do is it will send a message to the rest of the team. This isn't acceptable.
Yeah, but nobody else is going to do this with the Brooklyn Nets. They're not established enough. They're not superstars. I mean,
they might not do this, but they might feel they've got the wiggle room to do something.
I hear you.
You got it.
You can get away with things. Basically,
this is not what championship level teams do.
Yeah. I wonder though.
This is a circus. The Brooklyn Nets.
It is, but I wonder. If Kyrie just says, I'm done with basketball.
No, that's fine. I respect that. I respect that.
I think that's the thing. I think we want to know. We're just curious because he's one of the stars of the league.
Yeah.
And what's he averaging? 27 points.
27 points a game. He's been great.
He's been great
phenomenal
so far. And so without him, they're not the same team.
Nope.
And they're not going to be the same team with Kevin Durant and
without Dinwiddie, by the way.
And Dinwiddie as well. So it feels like. Maybe we're judging this on the expectations that we had for the Brooklyn Nets, and now we're heading towards a disappointment. But at the same time, I just want to know what the hell is going on with Kyrie's mind, and I want to hear him say something about it.
He owes
because as soon as he says something about it, we'll all have clarity. And
he owes an explanation, T.
He does.
He owes it to fans.
Now, do you
he
think,
does?
Do you think that the Nets are protecting him? I mean, this is the other question. Kyrie is what he is, and we can have our strong opinions about.
Well, he's
Kyrie.
enigmatic. That's a word that I think everybody could agree
no
upon.
doubt about
he's
it.
enigmatic.
But why are the Nets doing this? Like, why?
Because the Nets empowered him from the get-go, and they have no choice.
But they have to know what you said is right. That by letting him not get away, because that just sounds like he's doing something wrong, but by letting him, you know what I mean? By letting him be absent without commenting, and even if they know what's going on, but not commenting themselves, it's almost like they're complicit in it. And so I don't understand why they're not taking a firm stance. Maybe I don't think this is a privacy thing. I don't think it's a HIPAA thing. I don't think it's something like this. This is just, we want to know what's going on with your organization. Why aren't they saying anything?
I don't know. It's baffling. It's utterly unprofessional, and it's utterly unacceptable. Yeah. I just can't imagine that a franchise. And I don't want to thrust this solely on them. I mean, really, the issue is more so with Kyrie's unprofessionalism.
True, but the
subset.
Say something.
That's what I was going to say. The subset of that, the residue from that, is the Nets are compounding it. Like on what planet, as you kind of concoct and craft a PR message, just because there's not 20,000 people in the building doesn't mean that there's not millions of people who want to know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Who are flipping on the games on the Yes Network, you know, with the Birdman, watching the Nets, you know, and by the way, the Nets have a multitude, as they should, at least coming into the season, all these national games.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how they started the season, the first two games. I'm like, this team, if they stay focused rest days, this team is going to be unstoppable and must watch and fun.
With
and
Kyrie.
Like that.
With Kyrie,
of course.
Yeah.
And like that, they've gone from, it's like Animal House. It's such a bad look for a team that is trying to gain equity in this city. Because listen, you know where I'm from. I know that Brooklyn's cool. Trust me. If anybody knows, it's me. Although Brooklyn now is not what was Brooklyn when I was there, but whatever. Brooklyn's a great place. I love Brooklyn. My parents still live there. I will always love the borough, right? But I've also said a million times that the Nets occupy roughly, estimate, maybe I'm off a few percentage points, 10, 11, 12% of the equity in terms of basketball fandom in the city.
Yeah.
If you want to cut into the Knicks, and you can, but the first step is you got to be professional.
Yeah.
You got to have a plan. You got to have a clue. How many times can you trot poor Steve Nash out there with a mask? Listen, guys, I don't know. I don't have an answer. Sean Marks needs to speak. Yeah. I don't give a damn if he doesn't say anything that even makes sense. He's got to be in a position of leadership. Like, hey, I know it's been a rough week. We're going to get this. Don't even divulge anything. I don't care. You must be seen, Sean Marks.
Yeah.
You must be.
He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't want to look bad.
Well, you got to, if you're the GM, you got to know what to say. That's a terrible excuse.
And you got to be willing to look bad because
he's not going to look bad. He already looks bad now because he's not saying anything.
Well, that's exactly right. But you got to be able to answer the question even when you know the answers. Those answers aren't going to satisfy people because he's not going to have the answer for Kyrie. Kyrie's got to speak for himself.
But you know what, T? People, including me, would accept that immediately. Like, okay, he's not the one who bounced.
Yeah.
He's the GM. But you've got to have an element of accountability. And I'll tell you what, of all the other sports, the NBA is really, really allowing things like, I'm not talking about social issues. Some people probably interpret that. I'm not going there at all. That's not what I'm implying.
Yeah.
And that's not what's in my heart. But when you have guys like so flippantly approaching their craft. And I even mean night to night. Nobody's playing defense. Guys coming down, jacking up 40-foot jump shots. Happens every night. Now you have one of the superstars of the NBA deciding not to even show up for work for a week. Nobody knows why, and there's a video. Doesn't happen in the NFL, doesn't happen in baseball, doesn't happen in hockey. So keep doing this, NBA, and you'll go from a great sport to a sport that nobody wants to watch anymore.
Yeah.
And I love the NBA.
Yeah, when you can't trust that the athletes are going to do what they're supposed to do, then, yeah, you lose us a little bit.
It's just, it is confounding.
Luckily, Kyrie is the exception right now, and this isn't this is very unique and not something that's happening more and more. But if the league doesn't say anything and the Nets don't say anything and Kyrie doesn't say anything, then who's to say it's not going to happen more?
That's what I was going to say. And that's the muddy point right there. If you don't respond to this now, like I've always said, if you don't, I don't mean yell, but if you don't at least acknowledge when your 3-year-old writes on your kitchen table, don't be surprised when they take the keys to the Cadillac and take it for a joyride when they're 15. Don't be surprised.
That's true.
I mean, I've used that analogy before.
Sounds like somebody experienced that from the other side.
Taking the car?
Yeah.
Oh, all the time, man. I've told you that. All the time I used to take the Oh, yeah. Used to always take the car. All the time. A brand new Nissan Maxima. Oh, my dad hates when I tell this story. Used to take it all the time. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.